Students, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 8, and the cell unit of life. As we all know, there are about 4 million of living organisms, which includes non-neurons and bacteria, blue-green algae-like, and protist fungi is there. Okay, plants are there, animals are there. There are 1.2 million animal species. So they are made up of all are made up of single cellular structure, which is known as cell. So let's study about the cell, how it was discovered. The discovery of cell was done by Robert Hooke in the year 1665. An English botanist observed a section of a cork of a honeycomb and he found out there are some hollow species. Okay, now, uh, which he named them as a cell. The things which he published in the book name was Micrographia. After that, there are many scientists which involved in the process and have given the contribution in the studies. That is Antony von Leeuwenhoek in the year 1674. Okay, now he was the first to observe living cell. Robert Hooke named the cell and discovered in the cork, but he was the first who observed the living cell. Like bacteria from ponds of tartar of teeth, erythrocytes of a face, sperm is. So Antonio von Leeuwenhoek was the one who observed the living cell, and Robert Hooke was the one uh, who found the section and named it as a cell, coined the term. So Robert Hooke coined the term. Antonio von Leeuwenhoek was the one who observed the living cell. Then came Mr. N. Gray in the year 1682, proposed the cell concept. He is the one who is responsible for the proposing the concept. Then Robert Brown, the 1831, report the presence of nucleus into it. So Robert Brown is the one who told that there is a centrally uh, in the center of the nucleus cell there is a content or cell which is responsible for the whole activity of the cell is nucleus. Then Dujardin in the 1836 reportedly semi-fluid material around the nucleus is called cytoplasm. That he reported. Root cell of orchid. That is Jordan, and he named it as a sarcode. Then the last Purkinje in the year 1839 named the jelly-like material which is present around the nucleus is as a protoplasm, while protoplasm was called physical basis of life by Huxley. The scientist Mr. Huxley named it as a physical basis of life. So these are all the historical background of the cell and how the cell will look like. The cell theory. The cell looked like this when Robert Hooke observed it. This is the microscopic structure of the cork as observed by Robert Hooke. Okay. According to Sklidin and Swan, formulated cell theory on the basis of this, and he postulated things which are that all living organisms are made up of cells. First thing, the cells contain hereditary material, which are responsible for due to which the characters are being transferred. New cells are formed, and cells are responsible for the metabolic activity too. So these are the theories which is given by Sklidin and Schwann in a cell theory. So basically, what was the objective of the cell theory? The objective of the cell theory, and the objective, we can say objections. Objective I have already told you. Now objections क्या है? Sklidin. He found that new cells are formed inside the old ones from the nucleus itself. So he found the objections into this. The concept was later on found to be wrong by Hugo von Moll and Nageli. Scleron told that new cells are formed inside the, we can say, old cells with the help of nucleus. As we all know, we have now studied that mitosis and meiosis. We know that this theory is wrong. That's why we have studied mitosis and meiosis. Okay, and then another wrong point in the theory was quoted by Schwann, who said that cell could be spontaneously generated by the process analogous to crystal formation. Like crystal formation, they are spontaneously generated. अचानक से generate हो जाते हैं. That is also wrong. Then Rudolf Virchow, German physiologist, proposed cell theory of a cell lineage. What is cell lineage? He states that new cells are formed from the pre-existing cells and not de novo. Means they are the pre-existing cells they used to form by them only. And it was supported by the Louis Pasteur in 1862. This is a theory that life originated from pre-existing life, that is known as biogenesis. इस प्रोसेस को क्या बोलते हैं? बायोजेनेसिस बोलते हैं कि लाइफ जब भी जनरेट होती है प्री एग्जिस्टिंग लाइफ से ही जनरेट होती है. ओके, नाउ एक्सेप्शन क्या है सेल थ्योरी में? एक्सेप्शंस है वायरसेस. जैसे कि वी टॉक अबाउट सेल, पर वायरस मेड अप ऑफ प्रोटीन एंड न्यूक्लिक एसिड. ये डीएनए होता है, आरएनए होगा. ओके, सेम विद द बैक्टीरिया and blue green algae, which are prokaryote, lack well organized nucleus. They do not have the well nucleus, so that was the exception in the process. Coenocytic hyphae, rhizopus of fungus, where they are multinucleated as aseptate. Not a single nucleus is there, they are multinucleated. So these are the exceptions in the cell theory. The cell principle or cell of doctrines, principles of the cell, what are those? They are very simple. These are all based on the cell theory. These all things are based out on cell theory. Don't get confused into it. Okay, so what are the cell theories? Principle are very simple. Living organism is cellular. कोई भी living organism वो cellular होगा, है ना? Cell का structure क्या है? All cells should be similar in structure and similar kind of cell organelle. Same structure होगा, same organelle होंगे. That's why they are known as structural unit of life. सेकंड क्या था पोस्टुलेट उसका? सेकंड पोस्टुलेट था डिफरेंट सेल्स परफॉर्म सिमिलर बेसिक फंक्शंस. देयर विल बी डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ सेल बट दे विल बी परफॉर्मिंग सेम टाइप ऑफ फंक्शंस for their themselves mechanisms. Now that is known as cell is functional unit of life. That's why cell first the structure will be the same and the function for themselves living, making them living is the function same, so that's why they are functional unit of the cell. And new cells are formed by the growth and division of pre-existing cells. तो जो पहले से existing old cells and they just because of the division of those cells new cells are formed. So this is how the structure is formed and this is all about the principle of and cell. Okay, now three functional region of the cell. Functional region we are talking about, the main functional regions in the cell are plasma membrane, cytoplasm, cell organelle, okay, cell inclusion, and third is nucleus. Means three are there: plasma membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Okay, plasma membrane you all know, it is the outermost thin transparent electromicroscopic elastic regenerative semi-permeable membrane blah blah, means just because it provides a shape, protects the internal component of the cell. These are the all kind of responsibilities which are beared by the plasma membrane. It's very thin, it's not rigid, it's give the cell a structure, proper shape, so this is the work of the plasma membrane. It's the outermost layer and it is too, we can say it is also permeable, semi-permeable, depending on the requirement of the cell. And it's a protective and supportive layer. Cytoplasm, the component which is present inside the plasma membrane, and inside this cytoplasm all the cell organelles are embedded and it's a fluid which helps in the transport of nutrition to the various we can say organelles. Okay, so the maximum process of catabolism, that is cellular respiration, protein synthesis, all biosynthesis takes place inside the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm consists of two things: cell organelle, as you know, different types of organelles like endoplasm, reticulum, ribosomes, Golgi complex, mitochondria, plastids, all are present inside the cell. They are all known as cell organelles. And cell inclusion, they are the basically non-living structure of cytoplasm like food vacuoles, empty space. And nucleus, you all know, it contains genetic material, DNA, containing chromosomes that directs and controls the cellular activities of the so-called cell. So it is overall controlling the cell. And these, depending on these two categories, cell are divided into two groups, that are prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Both are cell, but depending on their internal structure, what they are made up of, what sort of organelles they are having, this type and their functioning genetic material, they all type of cell is classified into two groups, that is simply prokaryotic and eukaryotic. This we will discuss in the next slide. Okay, this is all for the day. Thank you very much.